medical review in South Africa. He went to South Africa for medical review, and he has remained in South Africa. In that posting, he also clarified something that was being peddled in Parliament by Muchima, that the government was taking care of the medical attention of the former president. President Edgar Lungu himself denied that, and he said he is there as a private citizen at no cost whatsoever to the Republic of Zambia. So please clarify that on behalf of Edgar Lungu. Let not the lies of Muchima go to the people that the government of Zambia is paying for President Edgar Lungu's stay in South Africa. No, the government of Zambia is not taking any cost whatsoever. President Edgar Chagwa Lungu is in South Africa as a private citizen, and he is footing his own expenses.
Just to bury that issue of President Edgar Lungu, are you able to assure us, myself and the nation, that the former president is well, is in good health?
Look, I'm not a medical doctor. That you know very well. I'm not a medical doctor. How can you ask me whether you yourself are
You've been talking to him. You just mentioned that you always have conversations.
You are asking me to give you an assurance. How can I? How do you expect me, just by the fact that I speak to President Edgar Lungu, that therefore I have the power to assure the citizens, to assure the nation of the health of President Edgar Lungu? I'm sitting with you, across you now. There is no way that I can ascertain your state of health. No. Just because I'm looking at you? No, I can't. For me to give you that certainty, I must be a medical practitioner, and I cannot only look at you and make a conclusion. I have to examine you and give you the right bill of health after I've examined you. But I don't have that competence, sir. So there's no way I can answer that question. The only thing I can say to the nation through this radio program is that I have been in contact with President Edgar Chagwa Lungu, and yes, he is well, but I cannot give you that assurance. All I can say is that I've been speaking with him, and as far as I'm concerned from the conversation, yes, but for you to take me to the task of starting to make assurances, that's a different ballgame. I cannot even assure you of my own bill of health. I can't. Because I might be standing here and feeling I'm well, the next minute I collapse.
Let's move on. What is the status quo of the Tonsy Alliance?
The Tonsy Alliance is a growing phenomenon. Thanks to the people who came up with the idea of forming the Tonsy Alliance. It is gaining traction on the ground. It's growing rapidly on a daily basis. Not too long ago, we announced the joining of a youth organization. We also heard, I'm sure that this radio station also carried a story from KBF, who also announced that his committee, his leadership committee, had decided that they're going to join the Tonsy Alliance. It's just a matter of time. We'll be welcoming them to the Tonsy Alliance. The Tonsy Alliance is growing and growing rapidly, and we're very, very happy with the support that we're receiving from the general public.
We saw that you fielded a candidate there under the Tonsy Alliance in Petauke. How did you take that victory?
We fielded candidates in Pambashe. We used the FDD. We fielded a candidate in Petauke. We used the NCP. And both candidates were Tonsy candidates. And both candidates were supported by the anchor party of the Tonsy Alliance, the Patriotic Front. When you ask me about Petauke specifically, I want to say to you that there is nothing to celebrate about Petauke. Nothing whatsoever. Because Petauke, the results were not a true reflection of the mood and the voting of the people of Petauke. Just like the results in Pambashe were not a true reflection of the mood and the voting of the people of Pambashe, nor were the results of Kawambwa a true reflection of the mood and the voting of the people of Kawambwa. The only difference is that in Petauke, our people in Petauke turned out in large numbers to go and defend the vote. There were more people in Petauke than there were in Pambashe, than there were in Kawambo to defend the vote. That is the only reason why you saw the results come out the way they did. Without the rigging machinery superintended over by Mwangala Zalomis and MacDonald Chipenzi, the gap in Petauke would have been wider than it was. And even in Pambashe and Kawambwa, the vote would have gone where it belongs, to the Tonsy alliance. So there's nothing to celebrate.
Well, are you making allegations that...
I'm not making allegations.
Mr. McDonald Chipenzi and Madam Mwangala Zalomis are engineers of
yes.
rigging?
You saw how long it took the ECZ in Petauke to announce the results. They had finished counting before midnight. They refused to announce the results until midday. And yet in Pambashe and in Kawambwa, they were in a hurry to announce. What was the reason? Tell me, ever since when have you ever heard?
We were told that they needed to finish counting in one of the polling, some far-reached place where they had to airlift the...
Yes, they had to airlift the votes, but the results had already been received. If we, opposition political parties, had already received the results from those far-flung polling stations, what about the ECZ? They had the results. We know that they had the results. Now, I was about to ask you, ever since when have you heard that the ECZ goes in an area where there is a by-election and thus they start conducting workshops and meetings with the stakeholders just before a by-election? And those meetings and conferences and workshops are actually paid. People are paid to attend meetings of the ECZ. And the one who's lecturing them is the chairperson of the Electoral Commission of Zambia. Ever since when have you heard that happening in the history of Zambia's electoral processes? Never. What is it that they're doing, going out there and calling youths, calling women, calling headmen, and having meetings with them? Ever since when have you heard of the ECZ performing that function? This is a function that has always been performed by political parties themselves and some civil society organizations, not the ECZ. This is a new phenomenon that we're seeing. What is it that they are doing? Tell me.
Why is it that all the time the opposition have issues with the Electoral Commission of Zambia? You were a part of government, and the opposition, now the ruling party, the UPND, they were not happy with the conduct of the Electoral Commission of Zambia.
They may not have been happy with the conduct of the ECZ. For us, we are unhappy with the management of the ECZ. We are unhappy with the composition of the ECZ. When we were in government, we put people in the ECZ who were neutral people, not cadres. For now, we have non-cadres, political cadres running that institution, which by all international standards is supposed to be independent. In this particular case, the people who are running the ECZ cannot be considered neutral. They are partisan, they are cadres, card-carrying members of the ruling party. In the last election, Mwangala Zalomis was member of the Central Committee. You know that. You know that MacDonald Chipenzi applied to stand in Chikankata as Member of Parliament on the UPND ticket. You know that even when the election results for 2021 were announced, MacDonald Chipenzi was celebrating. Mwangala Zalomis was celebrating, wearing UPND regalia. And today, they're the ones who are supposed to be superintending over an important institution of governance, an institution that should give hope and confidence to the Zambian people that their will on who should govern them shall be forthcoming because there is a team that is neutral that's handling their votes. But under this arrangement, can you give me any reason why I would believe the results coming out of the hands of Mwangala Zalomis? Why would I believe them? Because I know that Mwangala Zalomis is there for a particular agenda, and her agenda is to ensure that her political party continues to be entrenching itself on the governance of the people.
Some people have argued to say, rigging cannot happen here in Zambia because you political parties, you have polling agents who are all over and they're able to see the results there and send to your totaling center, which you can even talk about parallel voter tabulation. So if you talk about rigging, how possible is it if you political parties, you can have polling agents in every polling station?
Mr. Chitungulu, I would like you as a reporter.
No, I'm bringing this thought to you.
Yes.
And I want you to explain how.
I want to answer you. I would like that you, as a reporter, when you are asking questions like this, you must also refer to data. Okay? Recently, there was a report published by Zamstats. All right? And that report showed that in Southern Province, there are some wards where the total population as at 2022, all right, 2022 census, the total population in those 15 wards in Southern Province was less than the number of people in those 15 wards who voted in 2021. You and me and many citizens out there were shocked to see the videos of those people who were counting ballot papers outside under a mango tree. And when the police challenged them, what happened? You and me, Mr. Chitungulu, know very well that in Southern Province, there was never, ever a time when polling agents of the Patriotic Front were allowed to sit in the polling station. You are aware, sir, that even just filing our nomination papers in Southern Province is prohibited. We cannot, because our people are just beaten. They are thrown out of polling stations. So you see, much as we have a system that should have prevented rigging, unfortunately that system is not working. It is not. Mr. Chitungulu, you heard the stories, if you didn't see videos, of what happened in Kawambwa. Senior members of Tonsy, such as Sean Tembo, he's not a small member, he's not a cadre, he's a senior leader of Tonsy, was being chased from a polling station. He ran to a police station thinking it is at the police station where he will be protected. What happened? He was knifed in the presence of the police. And you still say that this system prevents rigging? No. Unfortunately, we have a system which is being abrogated, which is being abused, which is not being respected by UPND. So you cannot say that these elections are free and fair. No. They are not free and fair. But you can also extend that to asking the questions, what happens at filing of nominations? In Kawambwa, we only managed to file in nomination after Celestine Mukandila and Honorable Jean Chisenga.
Who have been arrested?
I'm coming to that. I have no problem about them being arrested. I'm coming to that. They went in there and put up a spirited fight to prevent the ECZ from disqualifying our candidate to register. Hadn't it been for their resilience, the candidate of NCP would not have filed nomination papers in Kawambwa because the ECZ didn't want him to file nomination papers. Okay? Now, those two people stood up and said, no, the grounds on which you want to reject these papers are not genuine. The person you are saying should have signed these papers instead of Peter Chanda is a deceased person. He died in 2014, and handed over power to Peter Chanda. The committee handed power to Peter Chanda to be president. But the ECZ were insisting, no, we want this man's signature, a dead man's signature. And now those two people have been arrested for obstructing officers from performing their duty. What kind of strange conduct is that? Those two citizens actually should be commended for ensuring that ECZ complies with the law. But now they are being arrested. We shall wait for the day when they appear in court, and I hope they can appear in court quickly. They did a function to save the face of the ECZ. Can you imagine had the ECZ succeeding in rejecting the filing of nominations of our candidate, and then later on it turns out that the person they wanted to sign the papers is deceased, and the papers at the Registry of Societies shows that Peter Chanda is the rightful president? That would have brought the ECZ into total disrepute, into total ridicule. Now, after saving the face of ECZ, ECZ goes to complain to the police, and those people are now criminals. We're waiting for the day when they will appear in court, because they will be vindicated. They will vindicate themselves. Now, I'm just showing you that this ECZ is not a neutral arbiter. The composition of the ECZ does not qualify them to even conduct elections, even of a civil society organization, let alone of the nation. They don't qualify. They are partisan, and they cannot in any way exude any confidence for any person. This is the reason why even when we participate in these elections, we are participating under protest. If Hakainde Hichilema and the UPND government want to have legitimate elections, let them make sure that they remove those cadres from ECZ, failure of which the 2026 elections have already been rigged. You have seen how...
So why are you going to participate in the elections if they are already rigged?
I've told you that if Hakainde Hichilema and the UPND government want to return Zambia's international repute as being a democratic country, they must do the one thing that is important. Cleanse the ECZ of those cadres.
And do you think that is possible?
Of course. What is impossible about removing Mwangala Salomis? What is impossible about removing McDonald Chipenzi?
Well, the UPND, I don't think they have issues with the Mwangala Salomis.
Of course, they can't have issues with her because they want her to rig in their favor. But is that in the interest of Zambia? Zambia is bigger than UPND. And Zambia does not belong to UPND. Zambia belongs to the Zambians. And Zambia is a member of the international community. The democracy that is being enjoyed in Zambia spills to other countries. Well, if there is no democracy in Zambia, it affects international democracy. So this is not a small thing. This is not a myopic thing about UPND and UPND being happy with what is happening at the ECZ. This must be to the satisfaction of all Zambians and the satisfaction of the international community to which Zambia belongs.
Honorable Cornelius Mwetwa, just 2 days ago, he was saying America can even learn from this country how we are doing in terms of our democracy and how things are being run. That's what he was saying 2 days ago.
You know,
so meaning that
I said this myself in 2021, if you remember, after the PF lost elections, after people were counting ballot papers under trees. They were stuffing ballot papers under trees, and we have evidence to that effect. But we still conceded. Okay? We still conceded. And I told the Americans, I told Biden, through his high commissioner here, I said, through his ambassador rather, I said, let Biden be quiet. He cannot boast about democracy in the United States of America compared to the democracy in Zambia. In Zambia, we have a former head of state who, even after having evidence that there was manipulation of the votes, he still happily, graciously handed over power. Whereas in America, what happened? There was mayhem. What happened at Capitol Hill? There was mayhem.
So what Honorable Cornelius Mwetwa is saying, you're endorsing?
What I'm saying is that Cornelius Mwetwa is a come late baby. I already said that in 2021. How can I endorse what Cornelius Mwetwa said yesterday when I said it in 2021? Who is supposed to endorse what the other said? So tell Cornelius Mwetwa to simply say, I endorse what my big brother, what my uncle said in 2021, that America can learn something from Zambia. That's what Cornelius must be saying. You can't make me endorse what Cornelius Mwetwa is saying after what I said. No, Cornelius was endorsing what I said in 2021, and it took him 3 years to realize that what I said in 2021 was right.
You're the PF. You are the biggest, member or party in the Tonsy Alliance, but you still seem to have, wrangles, divisions, you have factions. Right now, some people out there, they don't even know which one is the true PF. How then are you going to make this Tonsy Alliance strong?
I'm very happy that when you introduced me as Vice President of the Patriotic Front. And that shows to me that you, my interviewer, you are well informed about the state of affairs in the Patriotic Front. There is one Patriotic Front, and that one Patriotic Front is the one for which I am Vice President. Now, you are saying we are the big party in Tonsy, but we're having...
You have internal wrangles.
Now, listen to me, my friend. I am a role model in my clan, okay? If I have challenges with my daughter and my nephew, that doesn't take away from the role I play in my clan, okay? It doesn't take it away, because those are small little things that come and go. The truth of the matter is that I still remain a person who is considered to be an important contributor to the bigger family. Okay? It doesn't mean that if my daughter today misbehaved and my son misbehaved and I punished my son and there's a difference between me and my son, therefore I lose my credibility to contribute to the bigger family. The Patriotic Front is a big party. Okay? It's a big party. A party that is being fought left, right, and center because of its importance in national politics. And we know where this fight is coming from. But we still remain a strong, viable alternative. This is the reason why all the members of Tonsy agreed, they made a declaration themselves that in Tonsy we have an anchor party. We have a big brother. Surely, Mr. Chitungulu, will you listen?
Katungulu.
Sorry?
Katungulu.
Katungulu, sorry.
Yes.
Excuse me. Mr. Katungulu, can you imagine that you want to be swayed and you want the public to be swayed by what people who are outside Tonsy are saying about Tonsy? And you want to ignore what the people in Tonsy are saying about themselves. You want to listen to others who are outside who are saying, why is PF the anchor party in Tonsy when they have problems? And yet the owners of Tonsy are saying, we are very happy to have PF as an anchor party. Who feels it, knows it. The people like Sean Tembo, the people like Dan Pule, the people like Peter Chanda, the people like Peter Sinkamba, the people like Edith Nawakwi, the people who are in Tonsy are the ones who know what the PF is contributing to that alliance. It cannot be UPND. It cannot be Winter Kabimba. No, because those are outside. Huh? If you want to know how a hippo lives, don't go and ask a monkey. You ask the crocodile. So if you want to know how PF is doing in Tonsy, please don't go and ask UPND. Go and ask Sean Tembo. Go and ask Peter Chanda. The ones who are interacting with PF in Tonsy. That way, you'll be informing the public accurately.
Yeah, perhaps the question should be, how soon are you going to resolve your internal wrangles? We have the Chabingas of this world. He is actually the president of another faction of the PF. So are you in talking terms that someday we can see a one united, strong, mighty PF?
You know, Mr. Katungulu, I can tomorrow stand up and say, I'm a breakaway from PF alone, walking in Cairo Road saying, I'm president. And yes, you will consider me president. But the question is, who is following me? How many people from the Patriotic Front have come with me? All right? And the most important question that you asked is, when are you going to resolve these wrangles? I want to say to you that some challenges in life may befall you, but they come outside your control, such as this particular matter. The matter of people calling themselves president and so on of the Patriotic Front is a matter outside our control. And this is the reason why we in the Patriotic Front took the matter to court. So I would like to extend your question using this Christian Nation Radio to ask Chief Justice Mumba Malila. Please, Chief Justice Mumba Malila, when are you going to resolve our problem? When is the judiciary going to listen to our plight? When are you going to conclude this matter? The Zambian people, speaking through Mr. Katungulu on this radio, are getting anxious. How can a matter of such national importance be dragging before the courts for 2 years without conclusion? When other matters are being handled quickly, this particular one is dragging its feet.
It's a special case.
Chief Justice, please.
Perhaps it's a special case.
But special cases must also be given special attention. If the issue of chameleon can be handled so quickly, you even want to televise it. What about this matter which is about the governance of Zambia? Zambia is a multi-party democracy, and every person must be interested in safeguarding the integrity of the various political players, because if some of these parties die, you cease to be a multi-party democracy. It is in the interest of the judiciary. It is in the interest of the legislature. It is in the interest of the executive. It is in the interest of the Christian faith that the democracy of Zambia is maintained. And when there's a threat to the players in the democratic dispensation, all institutions of governance are expected to sit up to resolve that matter as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, Chief Justice Malila is not here. I wish that you, Mr. Katungulu, could even just send a question to him to say, when are you resolving the matter of democracy in Zambia? Because the demise of the Patriotic Front does not build democracy. It destroys multi-party democracy. So the short answer to your question, Mr. Katungulu, is that this is a matter outside our control. You go to an arbiter and say, I have surrendered this problem to you. Can you please resolve it for me? What do you do after that? You sit back and wait for the arbiter to decide. And that's exactly what we have done. So it is outside our control, sir. But we're hoping that it will dawn on the judiciary that the time that they're allowing to lapse without handling this matter is costing Zambia its democracy. Number two, it's creating anxiety in the people. You don't want to have a citizenry of anxious people. No. You want people to be settled so that they know their future. Now the Zambians are asking, where is PF? What will we do in 2026? We are having to explain over and over again because people are anxious. You don't want to lead an anxious society. You want to lead a stable, conscious, and discerning citizenry.
How are you handling the matter of your PF MPs endorsing? Already we have heard some of them endorsing President Hakainde Hichilema as a presidential candidate in the 2026 general elections. And even in Petauke we saw it, where there some MPs, they were actually backing and campaigning for the UPND candidate.
You know, when governance breaks down, strange things happen. When there's a breakdown of law and order, strange things are happening. I'll remind you that in 2010, 2011, Bob Sichinga, as a member of I can't remember, he supported a candidate of UPND, a friend of his. Okay? He supported a member of the UPND in a by-election. Then Bob Sichinga was a member of parliament for the soccer, I think. Mafinga. All right? What happened to him? Simply by supporting a candidate of the UPND, Bob Sichinga lost his seat. The matter didn't even go to court. It was just determined because the constitution is clear. A member of parliament who is elected on a party ticket or as an independent who crosses the floor to support another party ceases to be a member of the sponsoring party. It's automatic. But here, we're seeing that the man who swore to defend the Constitution, which has that provision, is even gleefully accepting, yes, thank you for endorsing me. Thank you for campaigning for my political party, even if the Constitution does not allow you, but thank you. And I'll protect you from anyone who wants to harm you. Why is that? Breakdown of governance systems. Non-respect of the rule of law. You asked me a question. What are we doing about them? We already announced. We said those of our members of parliament, put it correctly, sorry for that, that's wrong. Those of our former members of parliament who decided to cross the floor have declared themselves non-members of the PF. We don't have any qualms about that. Let them go. Let them go. So, those who are supporting UPND, who are supporting Hagainde Hijema, you are our guests. Go, but please, remember that we have a party to run, and we shall not allow you to abuse the party. You may go and support Hagainde, but don't you drag the PF. And time will come. You know, they might be happy now that nothing will happen to us because Edgar Lungu does not have the official power, because the one who has power went and changed the office bearers at the registrar societies. Fine, but time shall vindicate us.
Well, later we'll find out how far you have gone with the plan B, which we were talking about. We heard about plan B, whether it's working or it's not working. But in the meantime, I know people are anxious out there, those who are listening to us and those who are viewing this program via various platforms. We are live on Smart Eagles, Zambia Reports, as well as other PF pages. Don't forget, we are also live on Christian Nation Radio 106.5 FM page. And so right now you can call us. Let's give you time to call us and ask questions that you'd like to ask or comments. You can call us on 077 7760811. 077 7760811. Another number that you can call us on is 060 248915. We have a caller. Good morning and welcome to Christian Nation. Hello? Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Good morning to the Vice President.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Your name and where you're calling from?
This is John Chisanga from Matero.
From Matero constituents.
Yes.
How are the floods so far?
very pathetic. People are suffering.
Mr. Chitanga, you can go ahead with your question, your contribution.
Mr. Vice President, we are very happy with the Tonsy alliance. And as youth, we are very disappointed with this government. This new John government, we are very disappointed. Here in Matero, they promised us youth many things, but nothing has happened. Totally nothing. Totally nothing has happened. They promised us that they will give us jobs, but we are suffering. And this has increased now. My junks, here they are junks doing sorts of things. So, Mr. President, we are asking to say, may you kindly help us, and you people, we are asking that you should not give up on what you are doing. Starting with all the Patriotic Front committee, central committee, you should not give up. Even if they persecute you, stand on the truth you are standing on. We want to thank you people because you are strong people, especially you, Mr. Lubinda, Mr. Honorable Rafael Nakashinda, and the other members. You people, you are very strong, you are standing on the truth, and you are speaking for our people. And we also want to be sure as when our political party, PF, is going to be outlined properly with these issues of Mr. Robert Chavinga, the issue of our constituency member here, Honorable Mao Stampa. When is it going to be issued so that we are sure? And when is our secretariat going to be free so that we go there? And if we have a complaint, so that we go there as well. As far as I'm concerned, our secretariat is guarded with policemen, all sorts of issues. So when is it going to be released? Because right now it has been seized. It is not released. Even if I wear a PF shirt and go there, probably I can be arrested. I don't know if they can give me judicial or what.
All right, thank you very much, Sanga. I'm sure Honorable Lubinda will be able to respond to you. Let's pick another caller. You can call us as well, 077 7760811. 077 7760811. That's the number that you can call us on. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. This is Mwamba Evans calling you from City Market.
Mr. Mwamba Evans.
Yes.
Go ahead.
President.
Morning, Bamwam.
Awe tikonga program hii. Inatema mafunzo amene ningafunze kwa bati. Bai tunaona ku PCF ipegas government yano hii. Malangozi amene aliko yakabati time yakeze celebrate independence taona convention taona ti mapapers basaina ti manja yao mausam na ma time tambo baona na security time usiona na security hapa manje
Okay,
Hello?
Okay, go ahead. You can conclude.
Okay, question ni yakabati bai tinazi wati mama usampa na chipanja PF malangozi ya mukoti maitwamvera kuti apa twachavinga valoba chavinga nge vanaludi nga chipani manje as a patriotic front mwe mlandu uri kukoti mushikapo bwanji olofuti na veve vanakomeleza kuvacha indozi na veve vazi vati malangozi ali kukoti wai vanavomera so wana interest bwanji sizo mzati
Okay, thank you very much. 07777608111. 07777608111. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Morning. I'm fine, and you?
Your name, sir, and where you are calling from?
My name is Mr. Evans, calling you from Chazanga.
Evans who?
Evans from Chazanga.
Okay, I wanted your surname, but it's okay. You can go ahead, Evans from Chazanga.
Yeah.
ine niposha kona ba Given Lubinda ba studio ba Given Lubinda in a question ya menfuno punta ni yakutati first before I proceed further why my leaders monga ba Given Lubinda simo maoneka kupa kuma studios nishi bamumbipiri chabende ba fighting ache all over kashe endorse as a president because kapela mumafuna kutati waka bazimunkala zinkala pa news mukachitapia pa radio bazinkala ni news kapela ni bwaji kuti mumbaenda mu important statement I don't know then chameni kamba kuchina uchakuti nanga why chamene chilengesa kuluza tumabaye election nikanchi chitika busheniwa ndimo ba PF simuli on the ground but what happens because as far as I'm concerned this UPNG is not doing fine, you know, people are crying all over, but they are still winning. What could be the reason? Panina poyangana poni maningi because ngatumi yangana po maningi they are 2026 muzaluza. You know wako judicial now Mirandu please. I'm standing up my right here to musician process my issues the kuti azinkala ko fast mwamini wakambira balwinda. But I think my question is yanga balwinda bayambere after why through the by election kuri party amene chichita bwino
okay. All right, let me just pick two more, then I'll allow my guest to respond to those issues that have been brought forward before him. So you can call us as well, 077 7760811, 077 7760811. Another number that you can call us on is 0960 248915. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you, sir?
I'm all right, and how are you, sir?
Very well. Where are you calling from and your name?
I'm calling from Mandev constituency. I'm pretty grateful today. I'm telling you to hear the voice of my honorable Lubinda on the radio.
Okay, your name? Your name?
Chingambo.
Go ahead, Mr. Chingambo. You can greet our guest.
Greetings to honorable Lubinda.
Greetings, my brother. Greetings. How are you?
I'm very, very fine because I'm speaking to you now.
Praise God. Praise God.
My words are just of encouragement. I'm telling you, we are more than 100% geared to waiting for you for 2026 to come and want to usher into government. We are suffering in this government. Those are the words that you see. And we know that even Kawamba by-elections, we would have succeeded, but because of these people manipulation, that's why we lost. And I'm giving credit to my cousins in Eastern Province Pedagogy for winning that by-elections. Thanks so much. But Binda, you are the big machine, just as the Mumbipiri is. The two of you are great. They are big machines, please. Continue fighting for us. Those are the people we want in this society. To be able to bend you. And I'm telling you, the ground is very fertile. Everyone is wishing you come back. And just keep the plan B. Plan B. That's what we are going to do. We don't want this government anymore. We are tired. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much for your call. All right, Mr. Chingambo there from Mandevu constituency. Let's pick our last caller in this set, then we'll continue the calls later on. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Welcome to the program. Your name and where you're calling from? Hello? Mr. Mwasa, just stay away from your radio or reduce the volume completely to your radio.
Okay, sir. Okay.
And just speak up. You said your name is?
Yeah, I'm Mwasa from Zingarume.
Okay, we can hear you now. Mr. Mwasa from Zingarume. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, first of all, just wanted to greet our honorable, Mr. Given Lubinda. Morning.
Afternoon, Mwana. How are you?
It's still morning.
Oh, it's still morning. Oh, I'm hungry.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Mr. Mwam.
Yeah, my question is because from the time when I started about my office here to Mumbai, the first thing is we don't know now how to meet as our leaders, and also we
don't know where we can bring the complaint about the things which is happening around the country. And number two is when will be between a PF, the current president PF, who is Mao Sampa, and the Tonsy alliance, because I knew that you were the vice president of PF, and this language about Wachaminga, then Sampa, and we don't know now. And this is what I wanted to hear from.
All right, thank you for your call. Dear listener, for now, we'll allow our guests to respond to some of the issues which have been brought on the table. Then later we'll open the line for you to contribute in another set of calls. So, Honorable Lubinda, you can respond some of the issues that people have raised.
Yes, indeed. I'll start with John Chisanga, my friend from Matero. I can assure you, John, that we're not giving up. We shall not give up. And I also want to inform you that we're not doing this for ourselves. Most of us in the leadership of the Patriotic Front and the leadership of Tonsy are people beyond their afternoons of their lives. But we're doing this for our children and their children after them. If we look aside and democracy is destroyed by the UPND, to rebuild it would be very ghastly. Remember, it took Zambians more than 25 years to bring back multi-party democracy. All those years after Zambia went into one-party state, we were being governed without full participation of people until 1990 when people stood up. And there were lives lost for us to re-earn our multi-party democracy. We don't want another 25 years to pass before we can go back to democracy. We want to defend democracy now. So, John, I can assure you that we will continue to fight. But remember that it is not our fight alone. It is your fight as well, John. You join us. Make sure that Palipo and Semuli talk to your young fellow colleagues, talk to them about the importance of maintaining democracy. I have said before, time has come for every Zambian to rise to defend their democracy. Rise and defend democracy wherever you are by speaking against what the UPND is doing to kill the democracy.
But you must be careful in the way you use the word rise.
The English term rise is not sedition. It's not a seditious word. But I know what you mean. And I thank you, Mr. Katungulu, for caring for my freedom, because under this government, if I say my matako, it is okay. But if I say matako for somebody else, Banimanga, I'm very grateful for cautioning me. But I'm saying, Zambians, rise. You have the birthright to rise when things are wrong. When I say rise, I'm not saying pick arms. Also ikamao mukamwa. But I know about Katungulu. Yeah, that's what they will say.
I want you just to explain.
Yes, they will say, Atanae ukamba titengani mfuti. This is to show you that we're being governed by scared little men. That's what scared little men do. You know, a coward, panja akamvera, but there is a wolf outside. When you go to open the door, it's a puppy. Why? Because the fellow is a coward. So even when I say rise, cowards will think, Mwaona, he's agitating violence. No, I'm telling Zambians to rise and defend their democracy. Like you have done, Vachisanga, calling on this radio program and saying, we are disappointed with these promises. That is rising. Can you imagine a vice president, running mate, elected running mate, going to parliament and telling our children, yendani monkare na mamimba, mwe kwata mafumo swati pamipele grant, and you say that is your number 2 person in the country?
Imita ufole?
Imita ufole? Can you imagine?
Don't you
now,
think that has been exaggerated by people?
What exaggerated?
That maybe
everybody
she was
heard.
trying to labor, to say something. To
what was she trying to say?
Explain and, that there's this money which is set aside for women who are in a mothering manner.
So go and get pregnant so that you get this money. Is that the right thing to say to young people? Go and get pregnant so that you get the grant.
Don't you think it's just,
No.
Don't you think it's just an
No,
misinterpretation?
That's not misinterpretation. This is what she said herself. But you know, I'm not surprised. I am not surprised whatsoever. Nothing comes out of UPND which surprises me. Actually, when I hear something that is sensible, I also wonder, where is this coming from? I'm used to hearing things like that. I'm used to hearing things like saying, after 6 presidents, I am the only one who has done this. That's what I'm used to. Because that's what they are made of boast. They are boasting over everything. Can you imagine, had they built an airport, what would have happened to this country? And yet the promises they made, none of them has been fulfilled. Huh? So, but my friend Sanga, it's true, Mwana. Vanati was that when I come into government, Zambians who have 3 square meals per day, they will not be Pamela. They will not be cooking oil. And yet, Manje, the same person who was telling us that we'll have 3 square meals, goes to the people of Southern Province. And you know, the people of Southern Province are very proud people because they have always been farmers, they have always been pastoralists, they have always had excess food. And this man goes there. The one who told them, when I win, you have 3 meals a day. He goes and tells them, be careful. Sima mukasia kumazulo osataya. Musunge mukashoke mayo enkale chimbala. God forbid.
Well,
Vashi promise. We must remind Vashi promise that your promises are still being awaited. And I want to just say also, Mwana Chisanga, your party secretariat is open.
Is it functional?
It is functional, and I'm also found there. I have an office there, permanent office at the secretariat. And there are some days when I spend the whole day in the secretariat. So, John, come to the secretariat. Bwelani Mwana, we have our officers there. Every day the secretariat is open. Yes, the police, each time they hear that Edgar Lungu is going to the airport, they also go and surround the secretariat. Vakamvera that Edgar Lungu is in court, they go and surround our secretariat. All the time they want to surround our secretariat because they don't like to hear that the PF are congregating. But please, Muzibwela ku secretariat, that secretariat is yours. Now, my friend Mwamba Evans, the PF Rangos, yes, can you imagine Independence Day, Mwana? Independence Day, and not ordinary Independence Day, but 60th independence, 60 years of independence. An opposition political party is allowed to have a convention. Opposition party having a convention, and not Musanga, but at Zambia's #1 convention center, Yaboma. And to make matters worse, surrounded by vima kampiongo, vima motoka va kampiongo, vidanachita order kampiongo, va police, and heavy presence of police on Independence Day. And there was a visiting head of state from Tanzania. They even bring ZNBC outside broadcasting. Kuenda mukutambisa ati kuli convention. Unachiwanapo muziko muno. I'm older than Zambia myself, but I've never seen such a thing happening. Not even kuli Kaunda, it never happened. But kuli Hagainde and Miles Sampa. And vachita convention usiku vatenga ma fingerprints. The following day vaenda kuli registra pa Monday at TNT Chinje my office bearers. Everything speed, everything automatic. What this shows, Mwamba, is that Ija convention was not even organized by Miles Sampa. Nimumviana chifundo Miles Sampa, because Miles Sampa vamuzonda vantu at ndiye anavichita vija, and yet anavichita ni wina. Miles Sampa has no capacity. Please, alibe mpamvu Miles Sampa yoleta outside broadcasting services ya ZNBC. Alibe mpamvu yolenda chabe kumulunguishi International Conference Center. Alibe mpamvu yoleta va police to guard him. Alibe. Somebody is the one who was doing it. And Miles Sampa happened to be the best one available for them to use. So sometimes Mumukulu Kile Miles Sampa, he may not have known what he was doing. And I'm asking Miles openly on this radio station, because there are people who have come to me and they've told me, Miles Sampa is saying he wants to reconcile with you. It's not a question of reconciling with me. No. It's not a question of reconciling with Edgar Lungu. No. It is a question first of reconciling with himself and reconciling with the people, reconciling with the members of the PF and the Zambian citizenry.
Are you saying as an individual you don't have any issues with Honorable Maoz Sampa?
I have no grudge against him. That is his political decision. How does it affect me?
Well, it affected your political party.
My party is
And
still intact.
You are here where you are as PF because of action or conduct by Honorable Maoz Sampa.
You know, not everything that glitters is gold. Okay? And not every cloud is dangerous. In every cloud, there is a silver lining. And for me, I'm a faithful man, I'm a Christian. For me, I believe that things happen for good for those who fear the God. And for us in the PF, all this is for good because the people are now starting to see. Why should the whole government machinery fight this organization called PF? The people are starting to realize. So they are actually campaigning for us. Why should I complain? Instead, I should rejoice. Remember also, Mr. Katungulu, soon after the 2021 elections, we were all sad. But after 1 year, when I was acting president of the Patriotic Front, I used an opportunity to address Zambians through all media, including your radio station. And I said, time for groaning, time for crying, time for mourning the loss of the 2021 elections was over. After 1 year of reflection, it became apparent that actually we must celebrate the fact that we lost elections because it was a God sent. Why was it God sent? Can you imagine, Bakatungulu, had we won elections in 2021 with this Vashi promise, with all the promises and the propaganda, can you imagine where they would have gone to now? Now I'm sure that they would have told the Zambian people, and so on, and there could have been a crisis in this country. But God decided, chokani poni, so that wamena kamba kuti ne mangelo, abwele kuti mazambians aone ungelo wao. Now, over these 3 years, vantu waona ungelo wao. Aona kutanari kukamba chabe va boza vili pena kumutu vamesanga kwani sochita. And now the people have also realized kansi vaja wantu tinacho sapo pachabe.
But we have heard we have heard President Hakainde Hichilema, including this government spokesperson Cornelius Mwetwa, on many platforms. They have been accusing you to say they found a mess which they had to clean, and so that is why the more reason they are not able to deliver, because there was a lot of mess which they needed to to clean up.
Thank you very much for that question, because it gives an opportunity for me to make comparisons. You remember what Frederick Titus Jacob Chiluba was saying during the run-up to the elections of 1991? He told the people, do you want to sacrifice when I take over? Things are not going to be easy.
Tighten the belt.
You are going to tighten the belt. And the people said, yes. The economy is bad and I'm going to improve it, but it shall take time, it shall take trouble. And the people shouted, yes. You remember that?
I do.
And then there came somebody else saying, ine nikabwera mukanivotela chabe 10 hours, 12 hours, the dollar is 10 kwacha. Ine nikabwera ine mutengo wa fertilizer uzabwera pansi. Mukanivotela ine you start eating 3 meals a day. Mukanivotela ine mutengo wa fuel uzabwera pansi. Aya malaiti muona, there is no power, and yet ku Dubai there is no water. Malaiti ni 24 hours. Kuno kulipe malaiti ndio abantu walipe nzeru. Iye nikabwera nina nzeru ine muzaona vizachinja vintu. You see the difference? So, to come back and say, I inherited trouble, I'm cleaning up. You didn't tell the people that, Bwana. You told them 10 hours. dollar izabwera pansi. You told them unga uzachipa. Munzanu Chiluba, who was honest with himself and honest with the people, said, I have seen the challenges of this government. It will take time for me to build it. This is the reason why Chiluba was given a second term. This is the reason why he was respected, because he didn't give false promises. But we're talking about a person who gave you false promises. You voted for him on the basis of deceit. That's the difference.
We have to wait because they still have time. 5 years, they still have, it's not yet, 5 years is not yet over. So they still have time.
Bwana, the people who are dying because mlibe mankwala mchipatala, azauka mu 5 years, after 5 years. Afakale. Okay? The loss of jobs of people in this period because people can't employ one another because kulibe malaiti. Those people wanzanga bulwanga amna kuchita welding mashopu wao wavala. Are you sure that after next year or after 2 years they will still have capital to go and start their businesses? Their lives have been destroyed, ruined. Why have they been ruined? Not because they were warned, but because they were given false promises. Bakatungulu, if you are going to invite me, please let's go for lunch, and you tell me I'm going to buy you lunch, when we go there, don't come and tell me that you also pay. Because then you're a liar. You should tell me the truth. You say, Mwana, let's go for lunch. But tikazigulire teka. So ingat ninazo nizakamba tieni. Ingat nilibe nizakamba mwana ine nisiye chabe nidie nshawa parodi. Manja kunitenga wanigwira manja tie. Tikadie lunch, tikafika kuja. Wankara unuza na kunuza. Actually inaine ndalama nilibe. Why wanileta mu restaurant? Wanuza kuti nikuvotele, kuti nikakuvotela, umoya wanga uzankala bwino. Na kuvotela, wachinja ati no, sorry. Ninacha inherit bad economy, so sinza kupasa vye nalonjeza. And you say uyo muntu mzampasa ulemu. Siningafune ulemu kwa iwe mwana Katungulu. If I promise you, nakuuza, I'll come to your radio station at 11. And then I come at 13 hours and I come and tell you, oh, sorry, Nabuela for 13 hours. And yet I promised you that I'll be at 11 and I still want you to call me honorable. No.
Maybe it's circumstances beyond your control. But anyway,
you know, Mwana, circumstances beyond your control are understandable. But then do you know what you do? Nikalonjeza kuti nizafika pa 11 hours. Naona kuti munjira moto kayafa. That's beyond my control. What will I do? I'll pick up the phone quickly and say, Vakatunguru, please napapata. This is beyond my control. Understand why I'm not coming. Now, it's things beyond their control. They could have told you, poyamba pamene paja kuti vane vintu vavuta. Stina ruziwa kuti kusogolera bantu nchovuta. Tinaikona mungati vili easy. Kansi tinari ngozina amachabe. Vonse tinari ulonjeza vija ni maboza. If they do that and they apologize to the Zambian people that we asked for your vote based on deceit, tikuru rikile ni manje taona kuti ni vuta, maybe some Zambians will respect you.
We have a message from Moses. Moses from Zanmone is saying, Mr. Lubinda, you are a very good person, and what you are saying is true. This government has truly failed us, and we have not seen anything good. So please go on. We are behind you with full support. UPND Kuya Bebele 2026. That is Moses from Zanmone. All right, so let me see if we can, I don't know what my directors are saying, but we could have picked 2 more calls. But I'm told we have 5 minutes before we conclude the program. Let's see if we can pick 2 calls and then we conclude the program. In the meantime, let's see if we can pick 2 more calls. Just 2 calls, then we would have done for today's edition. You were talking about the issue of Plan B. And so far we haven't disclosed to the people what this Plan B. Are you able to tell us what is this Plan B which we have been talking about? After President Edgar Lungu was found not to be eligible for 2026 general elections, including. Okay, we have a caller. Good morning. Good afternoon, actually.
Hello, mabombe mkwe.
Mabomba shani.
Ndipo sawa onali bwalo na basha mkwe.
Bwino mkwe balishan na ben.
awe balesa balitsunga ndethela alesa mupale
Ni mwabani?
ine Dominic ndetumina kuno kumnali
Okay, angufie mkutumwa konkanyapo.
balubina ndethela alesa mupale kaye apale na ba president ba Edgar Lungu konsoko bali ndethilo mulo kwa mfumu Yesu Kristo kwatu kubasumbila konsoko bali
Tuatashamkwa.
muleso kafe ifishinka ala twachula mukatikati no chalo ndepepela fyokuti nishikushibuttuke bwangu pokuti abantu baleya abantu balapopo mukatikati abo natashamkwa babombe.
All right, thank you very much, Dominic Tuatotela. Let's pick another caller. I think that will be our last caller, which we're going to pick. Unfortunately, I haven't heard anything from the women out there. All men are calling. What has happened to the women out there? Let's see if we can pick our last caller. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, and how are you, sir?
We are well. Welcome to Christian Nation Radio and particularly to the chambers.
Lubinda, machoma bwanji.
Bwino mdala machoma bwanji.
Nachoma bwino.
Mazina yanu ndi mwandani?
Ndine Thomas ntumira kumnadi constituency kuno kumtendere.
Kambani wa Thomas.
Tuna chiteko contribute naise. Lubinda tamvira mushe kuti mwabwera uko ku radio. Mupitirize na bamene muchita. Tima nkara tiri wokumverani every time yamene munkara mutikambira uko ku radio, although still easy. Positiziva pali ponse vankara vakukonkana vavantu oro ku radio komwaenda obviously benzofuna nokubrokani because it has not been easy this 5 years yawo avantu so mupitirize tiri na imwe plan B yanu usayesa novauza isebenza mwena asebenzera kwekuja kuchipata kukweti na wina ija city demwe zakasebenzera na time zakankara timenyana na ma presidential by election yabwera mu 2026 so samverera vevakamba vantu ife paground pano ndife tiripo veve swali paground bonse vevakamba kamba vari maoffices ife tiri paground vintu siviri mushe kuri wonse muntu yomwe zakatipasa orosi Edgar Lungu orosi ndimwe eve azakawina sivafuna vafuna cause kuti beve vachita sitingankare nava vantu sitingapasi ava vantu 5 years inango pakuvutika kwevativutisa pa 5 years tachiona tarapira norapira sapa petikamba munga kuno kumtendere mara itinde pe yashikobwera yanaenda mairo yabwera lero so again manje kuma 16 yazaenda
Okay.
so komo mpitirize
All right.
nache kuchitani encourage sikomo bye.
Thank you very much, Thomas, and that happens to be our last caller. Honorable Lubinda, I was asking you a question on the issue of Plan B. Is it working? And if anything, you're not able to tell us this Plan B.
Mdala, Plan B yavuta. Plan B ipasa wena sagone tulo ya. Plan B is in motion. Isebenza bwino kwambiri and we are managing it very well. Isebene wake Plan B. We are making sure that we are changing course. Taona pa ya benda tachinja course. So Plan B is working. And aniuza mzanga hapa Thomas. Osa wauza. So sinza muzani Plan B. Ndani kayeso kamba pano wakatungulu. Nishiniuza haga inde kabili. Munaona hapo uja coach mu ground. Wacha abola pa half time. Waenda mu change room. Mo bisama aenda wauza strategy. Saba uzira mu ground kuti bonse bantu wamvere. Na ise Plan B. Ni vangono amene waizi wa Plan B and it's being managed very well. It's working extremely well. Vina vintu muona vichitika hivi ni Plan B. Mukamvera abwera muno UN rapporteur on human rights. Muzie kuti Plan B sevens. Mukamvera kuti outgoing Commonwealth Secretary General Patricia Scotland abwera and akamba na opposition muzie kuti hii yaoneka ngati ni Plan B. Mukaona kuti nkani zili mu court muzie kuti hii ni Plan B. So Plan B is working mdala.
But is this Plan B in good faith?
Plan B is in total taluvenya pati. Nipa tamuza ni kuti Plan B is in motion. Mwamvirapo tapanga mkono. Isebenza mdala. Isebenza very well. And mukamvesa mena akambira bantu a PF, bantu a Tonsy, you will not hear us insulting ali onse muntu ya because it's part of Plan B. Mukamvera bantu bamanga oku for seditious practices. Some of that is Plan B mdala. Whenever is Plan B because we want things to happen. So nifo kamba mdala take advantage of this question to also say to my friend Chingambo, anuza kuti And kudos to the people of Petauka Christian Province. Yes, true, because they stood up to defend the vote. And nizauza onse banzanga onse ma youths mwamene kwamvera kakuti kuli registration of voters yendani muchite register tamvera ziko linolota bwisa tina organization ya boma zamstats inayokutedwa kuti Central Statistics Office nchito yao niyo chita statistics niyo chita census achita census atiuza report ya census azamstats koma ka chairman ka commission ya ma civil workers civil servants kaimira nokamba kuti if mwalemba niva boza. How can one man challenge the results of Zamstats? What are they planning? Tell us what they are planning. Ati uza kuti no, the numbers they have put in the report are less. The numbers in Southern Province are more than this. What are you planning?
Yeah, because there were some words which were missing.
There are no words which were missing, Dara. The issue was that in 15 words, the people who voted in 2021 are more than the total population in those words. That's the question, that's the issue. So what is being challenged here are the results of 2021. How could there have been more voters in an area than the total number of people, including children? Okay, so
well, I need to bring you back. I want to say, my directors are saying
Mr.
we don't have time.
Before I lose this, yes. I would like to just say to the Zambian people, please don't you condemn people in Pambasha. I've heard people saying, Ababemba, Ababemba. No, don't condemn them for the results. Don't condemn the people of Kawambwa, the people of Pambasha because of those results, because those results are not an expression of their desire. What we should be doing now is to commend them. I salute the people of Kawambwa, the people of Pambashe, because when I went there, I could see the crying of the people at the arrest of their children. Members of, for the first time in Zambia, my friend Bakatungulu, can you imagine? In Anani Sankabanto Kabwata, 4 times as member of parliament. And every time Nakumvira Kuti Boma is around me. Okay? Now, in Zambia, a member of parliament, sitting member of parliament, Mamuchita abduct, then Makambakuta sober from the hospital, and the government is quiet.
I need to bring you back on this program. I know for you, you just need 2 hours.
I need not 2 hours, to talk about Zambia and the governance of this country, I need 6 hours.
So your bottom line message under a minute, after all what we have discussed, what could be your bottom line message?
The bottom line is that I feel the pain that many Zambians are feeling. Zambia being the 10th largest producer of copper in the world. Zambia being the producer of the most precious emerald, which is being boasted about in Europe, is the 6th poorest country in the world. Shame upon my country. A country which is supposed to be exploiting the God-given resources for the sake of the Zambians. God did not make a mistake to plant these minerals in Zambia. He planted them in Zambia for Zambians and for the international community, but through Zambians. And yet what are we doing? The first thing this government did when they came into government was to take away mineral royalty tax. To tell miners, you can mine our copper, don't pay rent. Just live in my house rent-free. Now they have even taken away duty on precious metals. Can you imagine? And yet Zambians are poor. Zambians can't afford.
I know that is a very big subject.
Now, wait a minute. So I want to just say...
We have to go into the news.
Okay,
so
thank you, sir.
I want to...
Let me say to the Zambian, don't lose hope. Maintain the faith. Keep the faith. And that faith must be bound by your unity with the Tonsy Alliance. Because the Tonsy Alliance is a grouping of new people and experienced people who will blend to come and give you even better governance than we did from 2011 to 2021.
Honorable Lubinda, I want to thank you very much for having accepted our invitation, even if time was not enough for you, but you